July 19th, time is 5:07. This is the Roosevelt Island Real Estate Development Advisory Committee. Present for the committee, myself, Howard Pollaby, Chair, and Dr. Kathy Grimm. Present for the board, David Kraut, Margie Smith. Present for the corporation, Steve Chironis, Fernando Martinez, and Donna Maisley. And present numerous members of the community. So we're now in session. Faye Christian is present by teleconference. So our first agenda item is review and discussion of mobile food vendors' activity during the July open access trial and recommendation on permit terms effective thereafter. So we've had an open trial for July, which I believe continues through July.
Right.
And we're considering what to do about the permitting process thereafter. Now, I understand that, of course, food trucks here are all subject to New York City regulation, which includes a $350 a year license, if I recall correctly. I haven't heard adverse reactions out of the food trucks, and we have one question: do we have numerous sites for these trucks?
Yeah, we designated, including the two sites that we have, with the fruit guy and the Mr. Softy, that we designated 1, 2, 3, 4. We designated, how many sites was it?
5.
4.
We are doing 2 by Starbucks.
2 by Starbucks.
1 additional one
by the tram.
at the tram.
Okay.
And then 1 at either end.
Right, so there was 5 additional for a total of 7.
We have 3 by the,
There were 3 trucks there tonight.
Starbucks.
There, and that's something that
We
I'm
wanted
sure.
to talk about
That's
that.
on the
Oh,
agenda.
Okay.
When have the trucks all been registering before coming into the
They get a permit through Donna.
Okay. And does the permit material include a map of some sort of locations?
It doesn't as of right now. We have that online.
Okay.
Basically, the vendors will communicate to me which sites they want. There are certain sites that people seem to want, and there are other sites that people don't think they'll have much luck with. And right now, obviously, by the subway seems to be the real winner.
Where are the other 2? You said at either end of what?
There's one at South Point Park is the location, and also by the Octagon Comfort Station soccer field.
For one truck?
I don't know how many trucks, but you know,
Yeah,
maybe
one
if
truck.
Donna really lives with this, she's really responsible for implementing the whole program and so on. So maybe Donna can just give a general overview of the process,
Yeah, that'd be helpful.
since you know we need to maybe refresh and so on. But overview of the process and some of the things that you found, and maybe areas of improvements that you may recommend, because she's the one that's actually doing this on a day-to-day basis. So I'm putting you on the spot, Donna.
Okay. Essentially, the way that it has worked is the trucks normally contact me. We've had inquiries over the past year or so, and I've tried to keep a list of everybody who has reached out to me. I've then gone and reached out to them again, and I said, listen, we're going to try this, we're going to open this up, and essentially some got back to me, some didn't. Some are mulling it over, I guess, on their end. And the ones that have gotten back to me right now are just the 3 that we currently have here.
Okay.
So.
Okay, and I imagine there's been favorable reaction, if you've heard anything at all.
To be honest, I haven't heard much. But from what the trucks have told me, it sounds like they're doing pretty good as far as the business is concerned. So.
Have you had any kind of issues at all? Because I mean, I know we talked Originally, their permit seemed to say July 20th instead of July 30th.
Right, there was a little miscommunication on our end as far as whether it was a 2-week period that they'd be evaluated for free or whether it was for the month, so that's
Okay.
since been
And the
straightened out.
spots themselves, I maybe didn't pay attention when we were talking last time, since I'm really not even on the committee. I thought we were gonna designate X number of spots, and then it was gonna be first come, first served, when, once you have a permit, you go to whichever of the spots you want out of the 5 that are designated, as
It's,
opposed to one person having to be in the same spot all the time.
from what I've understood, it sounds like there have been several incarnations of how this was all going to work. So the most recent that we've sort of discussed is that people will apply for a specific zone, and then they'll be designated a spot in that specific zone. And like I said, right now the subway zone, which is zone 3, seems to be
How does it work
the
in the
one that
city?
everybody wants.
Get a spot.
Yeah.
Get a spot, that's
Get a
it.
spot.
Doesn't matter, there's no zone, you get there early, you got that spot.
Right, there are designated
so
areas.
We try
there's
to
nothing where
work
you
with each other as
can't
far
be.
as who's in what spot on what day. If that's somebody's spot for a while and you park in and they ask you to move, it's good business practice to give them their spot.
Unwritten rules that it's good.
Yeah.
Especially, and there's an association, there's a food truck association, most of us are members of. So if you know each other, especially if you're in the same commissary, you try to work with each other. You see each other every day, you don't wanna create enemies, you know?
For purposes of the tape, this is being taped.
Sure.
Could you identify yourself?
Sure, I'm Nick Russo from Hibachi Heaven.
Okay. And,
I'm Joe Glasser from La Bella Torte Dessert Truck.
okay, so,
You
those,
done very well.
What did you say?
She said you've done very well.
Evidently
she likes your dessert.
I couldn't hear the voices very well.
Okay. Oh, you can hear the voices very well. Oh, I thought you said you did very well.
I think she just said I had a big mouth.
Okay. Too bad you're not here, Faye. We've got desserts.
the problem that I've run into is that new trucks will call and they'll want in on the action, but right now we have trucks designated to the spots. So I have to tell them, don't have anything right now, and we're kind of renewing month by month. That being said, it's kind of rolled over, everybody's rolling over now into the next month, so I'm gonna have the same thing that's gonna happen next month. And it's just going to create a challenge. I can certainly see this becoming an issue. If the same trucks are staying, if, you know, one truck goes and then who gets to come in next and establishing some sort of wait list,
I
and it's,
We said it probably makes more sense for them to get like 3 months at a time, so at least if it works out for them, they know that if you only have July, but you don't do August, and then somebody takes your August spot, you know, you wanna kinda, you know, continue, have some kind of, if it works out for you. So like, we started this, we weren't sure exactly how to, you know, especially when we had the 1 month free, just to see how it works out. So you guys are here, and I don't know if it's working out for you or not, but if it is, you'll have to decide if you wanna spend the money to continue. I think once we, you know, fill, let's say we fill for August, you're not sure if you wanna do September, but then somebody says, you know, I'll take September. So you might be locked out in September if you don't do like 2 or 3 months at a time. You
Can
know,
I make a
So you're
suggestion
saying
to you?
you could buy a permit for 3 months? Is that what you're saying?
We would think, yeah, so this way you don't have to.
Okay,
you
can
know,
I make a
'cause I
sug-
could constantly,
Right,
you know,
okay.
somebody may
But worried
something-
about it, rather than worry about that, okay? Okay, with respect to the restaurants, which is any place that you park, you don't park by a restaurant, that's a no-brainer. Okay, we're in the 7th month, okay? You want 345? I'll give you 345 right now, let me finish out the year. Establish myself, because a month isn't long enough to establish myself, and then come January 1st, you know what, we'll renegotiate a deal. And
45
for till the end of the year.
for each month.
No, like making a yearly permitting fee. rather than a monthly permitting fee.
What does the city charge,
Yeah,
$350
but that's
per
only
year?
$345 as
The
opposed
city
to.
charge, what does the city charge, 275 for
200.
2 years,
200 for a
Really?
two-year permit for
For
your
a
truck.
2-year, what kind of permit is this?
citywide,
This is a 5-borough permit.
5 borough.
But how do your spots, you have a guaranteed spot?
No.
No, you don't have a
So
guaranteed
you're
spot.
every day you're looking for a spot?
That's right.
And every day we're also in a
Yeah, but
different
here,
location.
you know, you
Here,
have a.
here you're being handed, I understand what you're saying.
No,
You're
no,
right.
I'm not
You're
being.
you're being handed a designated spot.
I'm
You're
not-
guaranteed a spot.
I'm not gonna come here every day though, that's the thing.
Oh,
you know?
I feel bad.
People are not gonna come here every day, especially in the food truck business. You're gonna do maybe, Roosevelt Island once or twice a week. Okay, because then you're gonna go, also, there's only a certain amount of people that are gonna eat off your truck. I don't go to the same spot for lunch every day. Every day I'm
Plus
in
you
a
have
different
events too,
location.
you have different events.
We have different events, okay, so for dinner, I might wanna do Roosevelt Island once or twice a week. So maybe those other 4 days, you could have a different truck here, there's Asian trucks, there's taco trucks, whatever, but I know I would only come at least once or twice a week. Cause we're gonna be in Union Square one night a week, in just the different areas, and we're still learning the areas that we're gonna be in ourselves, we're just trying to see what's good, what's not. We may try it out this month, we may do great, and say, listen guys, we wanna be here at least twice a week, let us know what we need to do. It may not work out, we may say, listen guys, it's just not working out, we're not getting the volume we need. It's happened, we've changed spots, we were in Midtown in a couple of different locations, and we won't go back, we're not getting the volume. We were there for 3 weeks, on every Monday and Wednesday, and then people just weren't coming, we were only doing X amount of meals, for us that wasn't okay. So we changed, and we're doing better in the new locations, so.
But you have to understand, I think, we have existing vendors.
Right.
That pay $345, that are here every day.
Right.
Then,
But
obviously.
with both fixed locations also.
Yeah, well, fixed locations, basically the
This is
same
off the end of-
situation.
end of fruit day.
Well, if he paid that fee, he'd have a fixed location, that's what he's saying.
Yeah,
I
well,
understand
that's
that.
what,
That's the chance you gotta take.
you know.
I think the problem that we're also running into is that I'm only issuing 5 permits.
That's
If the
the
trucks aren't coming every day, we're really not capitalizing on the opportunity to have food trucks here.
They're gonna wait to hear
It's-
from other
yeah.
trucks.
I
I think the problem in a nutshell is, we as a board wanna give the residents more choices, we wanna give them what they want. We also wanna support the restaurants that are here. We don't wanna start bringing in other business and letting you guys have something cheaper, cause they're getting charged. We don't wanna make it too expensive for you to afford to come, we don't wanna make it so cheap that it's not fair to these guys, so. And we wanna have as much variety as we can, and maybe moving everybody around is the way to do that, and you
Well,
wish
I
as many
think
trucks and
I've
first come, first served.
I've put a lot of thought into this.
I'm sure you have, yeah.
And my thinking is that if we do a yearly permit, the way that the city does, we started in 2013 and just issue it to X amount of trucks. If we wanna put a cap on it, fine, but we designate areas on the island. This is where you can vent. And we issue our permits, and then the trucks can come and go when they want, and they obviously are
That's
able
easier
to work
processing
it.
for you then, right?
It's
Much easier,
Yeah,
yeah.
but there's a difference, excuse me, sir. There's a difference. Manhattan, for instance, can entertain any number of food trucks. It's competitive, people make choices. So if the location doesn't work, they go somewhere else. We're offering a very limited number of spaces. What happens on the day that 6 trucks show up here? And they've all paid an annual permit.
I understand the what if. I'm just trying to think as far as how it would be best for RIOC, how it would be best for the residents, and as well as the existing people on the island as far as the business owners. If we continue to only offer certain permits, X amount of permits per month, you're getting the same choices every day, and
Well, if I may, to David's point, I think that's a good problem to have, because if 6 trucks are showing up in one particular day, maybe because the interest and the demand is there. But I kinda like Donna's idea, because we do an annual permit, and you do an open permit period, so let's say 2 months, let's say January, February, and then, to register and sign up for these permits. After that, you're done, it's closed, and that's it for the
See,
season.
no disrespect, Fernando, but this is the famous Roosevelt Island way, which tends to put limits on people, surrounds with people. when said what I said about it, they can park anywhere in the city, it's wide open. It's competitive, and you can't always do business at a specific location on a specific day. And sometimes you're gonna have a guy with a bar, like a guy in Hoboken who tried to chase you, stuff like that. And that this is part of the business that you do, I understand this. But it's wide open as far as that goes. We pay your annual permit, and I also know sometimes the cops are just chasing you. I understand that, I read the papers like everybody else. You know, I actually know something just because I read the papers about the vicissitudes of doing business with a food truck in the city. But it's wide open. On Roosevelt Island, we complicate everything. We find a way to make things complicated, and narrow, and difficult, and over-regulated, and under-supported, and we're so famous for this. Spend a minute on his blog, and you'll hear 1,000 people hitting on us for the way we're not taking care of business properly. Yep. So, if we can do anything to simplify this stuff, and meanwhile, get a whole lot of money out of these people for the island, because
You guys should look at the food truck lots in the city and try and base, because you don't have a lot of space. And I know how these guys are gonna work. They're all gonna wanna be by that Subway, especially for dinner.
Sure.
I mean, I told Donna, lunch, I don't see lunch being very successful here. I've been here during the day, there's not a lot of people walking around. The guys in the city, there's thousands and thousands of people walking by their trucks for lunch every day.
Jonathan has spoken to this also.
Yeah. Okay,
I agree with you,
lunch is
so-
huge in Manhattan. But these food truck lots, like Hudson Square, where I park on Hudson and King, they're chasing the trucks out of there. They will not let you park on the streets. Maybe one truck on Hudson a day, if you're lucky. And they will chase you out of there. They will shut you down, they will chase you out. Right on Varick and Grand, there was a guy who owned a piece of property. They contacted him and asked him if he wanted to open up a lot. It's basically a safe haven. They allow up to 5 trucks, they have outdoor seating, and they have a bandstand. And 4 days a week, they have 5 trucks in there every day. There's people that come there, they sit down, they eat, and they listen to the music. So, and it's always a different truck on each one of those days. You don't have the same 5 trucks there. You have, grilled cheese truck, an ice truck, a this truck, so you have different 5 trucks there every day of the week. So like I said, I wouldn't come 5 days a week, so maybe you want to tell me, listen, you want to come 2 days a week, this is what it's going to cost you those 2 days a week. And then everybody will start to get into the rhythm of knowing, okay, this is my location on,
Sure,
Thursday and
because
Monday.
Everybody gets out of the subway is not gonna eat a pizza every day,
Right.
or hibachi every day.
It's a variety, you
Right.
want that, you want that.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is, how many trucks could be by the pizzeria? So if everybody has a spot, you have 5 locations, is it 2 per location, how is it written?
Yeah.
How did you guys write that out? I wanna know what it's written, so I could I don't have to bother nobody, there can only be 2 trucks. Who's gonna reinforce that?
Well,
Is public safety gonna come and say, you gotta move your truck, like any other, the law enforcement of the
how many
island?
spots we have at the
That's why it's
location?
really, we
As
have our
of
own
right now, 2 in the
private
subway.
security force
Okay.
chasing trucks.
Chasing trucks
Well,
and kids.
I agree with you 100% about putting a pizza truck outside your pizzeria.
Yeah.
Well, because they're all crying for something different.
Right.
Here's a pizza truck that has a 16-inch pie for $18.50. They have a small pie for $15.50. I mean, it's more expensive than what I'm doing. And like I said, if you're gonna look at it that way, money-wise, or a difference, like he just pulled up with his truck. I go, I'd love to eat that. And I own 3 businesses on the island, so that's what I want. I want a variety.
Well,
You're not making a variety.
On the other hand,
Plus, we have a whole middle of the island that has a ton of people. How come you can't park in the middle?
Let me ask, I'm sorry, what's your name?
David is my name, David
David.
Crowd is my name.
Okay, David. I came on the weekend. Okay, same spot that I'm in. On the other side of Riverwalk, where that I don't know the name of the street.
The Queens side, it's
Yeah, that's Queens side, it's Manhattan side,
That's
Queens side.
Okay,
Main Street East.
Main Street East. Okay, I just learned Promenade West.
Right.
Okay, I seen that on Saturday and Sunday. There was a hell of a lot more people walking on that side. Okay, I get business during the week by the subway, but on Saturday and Sunday, I could probably make more money on that side of the island. Okay, fine. You want to charge me a monthly permit? Okay, I would rather pay a yearly fee. It's easier for me to do. But work with me and don't say you can't be here. Don't say you can't be there. Okay, with respect to the businesses. First thing, when you introduce yourself, I said, do we have a problem?
what'd I say?
No.
How many cannolis did I buy from you?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying. And there are no bakeries on this island.
Yeah.
Yet.
Okay? Yet. And you know what? There were 5 trucks out there that went from trucks to brick and mortars. And if Roosevelt Island is gonna work for me, then why wouldn't I put my business and rent a storefront and put a cafe in there and say a year's time or whatever it is that it takes to get my name established as a business on this island. Just like he establishes himself as a business, my business is 27 feet long.
Your business, if you do it on Roosevelt Island, on the other hand, I'm paying a permitting fee. Your business location is protected. Your audience is the same people every day, get used to you. You've got a public safety department whose job is not to chase you, but to protect you. Your streets, and I don't know if you know if you do business in the winter, but your streets are swept, and the snow is shoveled, and the leaves are raked, and everybody who lives on this island pays money for that. Your ground rent on your apartment, which goes to the ground rent on your building. See, all the money we live on comes from us. And if you're going to do business here, it's not unreasonable to pay money for all the benefits of doing business
That's right.
here. Plus river views in all directions.
I have a
Plus,
thought.
I didn't hear the last
River
part.
views.
I'm
Okay.
gonna get it out at some point.
Okay, I agree with you on that.
I've been wanting to get the area opposite Riverwalk and the Japanese restaurant, this big old parking lot there. I
Across
wanted
the
to get a volleyball court there, but our CFO tells me how much it's gonna cost, so we're probably not gonna do that. However, what we were gonna do,
Did you look at any other place, anybody else to invest with that for you, or to?
no, it's gonna be a real temporary thing because the other
That's
buildings
what I'm
are coming,
saying,
so we
yeah,
didn't
a
wanna.
temporary thing, I mean, I would love to get involved in that and help out with
I'm
that.
changing my mind.
Girls'
already as
beach
we speak.
volleyball.
Oh, she's changing her
Yes, I'm
mind.
changing my mind, because part of it was gonna be some picnic tables and some chairs so people could watch them play volleyball. If we don't have the volleyball court there, could that be a lot that had the trucks in it? And then there'd be tables and chairs and stuff there anyway, and if we can come to some kind of financial arrangement that works for everybody.
Would you be
We don't have a
willing?
pizza place there, but we have
Right.
other kinds of.
Would you be willing to put a beer garden in there like they did at the Highline?
We already did, we're doing something now on a pier, pretty much.
No, but I'm not saying if you have a bigger spot on the other side with the trucks
No.
and your beer
Not a
garden
chance.
could not a chance. Okay, it's just a thought.
But would it work, do you think, to put the trucks in there, if we're gonna have,
One
that space open?
centralized lot would probably be the best thing.
Why don't we really be nice or really professional about this and open up the whole island where there's a ton of people in the middle of the island? Oh, that's right, they signed the lease with.
That's your that's your landlord.
My landlord's
That's
on
his
it.
deal.
He's pretty smart, why? Because it's gonna ruin the businesses in the middle of the island. That's why the businesses in the middle of the island,
No,
I'm sorry.
it's not just
Everybody
that.
interrupts everybody, I wasn't done talking. I'm very polite and nice here. I'm telling you, that's why the middle of the island had not done well with their businesses, because nobody frequented. So now you can't put trucks there, because the new businesses that come there's not that many people walking around. So you wanna make your own little garden? No, you know what? What are you gonna pay, $300 a month? Excuse me, a year? Come on, like he said, we're giving you an opportunity to have a designated spot at this price, you'll be protected, blah, blah, blah. You want it? No, I wanna be here only 2 days a week. Well, you know what? That's fine. Here's what it's gonna cost for you to be here 2 days a week. Here's what it's gonna cost you to be here 7 days a week. They're giving you opportunity, it's like you guys are changing it to make everybody all happy here. Write everything down, put it down to how do you want, how do you wanna do this?
That's what we're
Okay,
trying to
but you know-
discuss, we're trying to work out what's working
Excuse
for
me.
everybody.
That's what we have.
You also have air conditioning, bar, okay, bathroom facilities, everything that somebody that the people want to sit down in a restaurant. Okay, I'm married. If I'm take my wife out to Riverwalk, your bar and restaurant, say I'm gonna take you out for dinner, and see his truck, and say let's eat at the truck instead. My wife's gonna beat me about the head because she's gonna say no, you promised to take me to a restaurant. That's just the way it is.
All right.
But when somebody gets off the subway and they're saying, you know what, I don't feel like cooking, let me pick a dinner up from him.
You're changing it to the point where you're saying, let's put a beer garden in with seating.
No, I'm not talking. That was just a suggestion.
Okay, but that's what
That
we're
was
talking
no. I'm talking about what he was saying about that they pay. You know what? Yeah, they pay a lot of money. They pay rent. They pay everything else. Okay, where he's got a restaurant. His restaurant is on 6 wheels. I have a bakery. It's on 6 wheels. We can't offer the same thing that he's offering. Okay, so you can't
This is
turn
going
around.
off it. They're giving you a designated money, how much it would be cost, how much it would be, and where to park. That's it, and I don't know if they're here to agree upon it, or what else you guys need to do. You have designated spots, how many spots could be, you have 5 spots? How many vendors could be in one spot? Now there's 3. Is there a designated number for each spot?
What do you mean?
There's 5 different locations for vendors to vend.
Correct.
How many vendors could be in one location?
One.
We have 3.
This is Okay, I'm not understanding.
Right
No,
now,
by the
right
subway-
now,
By the subway, there's
trucks
three now, there was
parked by the
two.
subway.
So they should only,
There is only supposed to be two.
Okay.
That's
That's
okay.
not- that's the number I wanna know. So-
There's supposed to be two, in that zone. That zone
okay,
Zone 4 is at the tram, and there is one additional, next to Mr. Softy available.
okay, so there's two there, and there's two by the subway, two by the tram, right?
Two by the
vendors,
subway, two by the tram, total.
That's written, that's how you guys wrote it up.
That's what we have decided,
Okay.
yes.
But the discussion tonight is because we tried that, now we're saying, did that work, or should we change it? We're not just saying, here, we're saying.
When I had
that it
originally spoken to Donna, I had requested zone 3. I did my research on the island, I saw where people are gonna be coming off the train, where they're gonna be going home. That's where, especially for a dinner schedule, that we're gonna make our money. When she came over earlier, she's like, oh, listen, you guys can't be here, you're gonna be by Mr. Softy. I know I'm not gonna make any money there, and I cooked a lot of food tonight, you know, I have to cook everything before I even open my windows, I have to cook a lot of food, I cook my fried rice, I cook everything. So that's why there's 3 trucks there right now, because it was one of the things I wanted to discuss, for me to move my truck and put it over there and not make any money and waste all that food, it's a shame and it just didn't work for me, you know?
But that's not our problem, that's not my problem,
I know
that's
that's
not
not
your
your
problem.
problem. I
So
know that's
who's
not your
gonna
problem.
enforce that one of those trucks
But this
leave?
was, listen, this
Let
is
me
something
just
new and it was
recognize-
just a
It
misunderstanding.
was a
No,
mistake.
bro, I'm here.
Let me recognize, you wanted to say something?
Yeah, just the number that you came up with, Donna came up with 2, I think is incorrect. At the last meeting of the committee that approved food trucks in the locations,
I thought it was
the designation was
I thought it was
3.
3 also.
So
thought it was 3.
so that was what was agreed to by the board of directors, 3 trucks, so I think you're
Yes,
I think you're
that's
incorrect
probably
about that,
just-
so I think 3 is
That's fine.
3 is the number. Also, when you start getting into the area of deciding what type of trucks that serve a particular type of food can go here or not go here, now I understand how Alfonso doesn't want a pizzeria competing with him, and from his point of view, that's entirely reasonable. But there are other people on the island who love the food that the pizza truck is providing, even at a higher price. So you guys have to balance the wishes of residents that are willing to pay the extra money to buy. Can I please finish?
That's something else, we're not any good at.
This is coming from a guy that said he knew who would wanna come and do what we wanted to do at the pier, and we went to 4 meetings, and him not bringing one person. So if you're gonna say you hear from people, and I know you've been like the maitre d', you've been standing in front of the truck, directing people there, I saw you and I watch you. So, I wanna know who, you gotta start saying people. I wanna know who.
Can I please finish my
I wanna
thought?
see, cause he's full of shit, be honest with you.
Hey,
I'm gonna be
hey,
very
come on.
honest with you, because
Alfonso,
that's what he does, I'm sorry.
Your face is getting red, like you're
The guy, that's all he
Take
does.
deep breaths.
He prolongs everything, and he puts a fear in all you
Alfonso,
do.
take
And
a
it's
breath.
pretty sad. It's pretty bad.
So let him finish. We, at these board meetings, as a courtesy, we allow the public to speak. It's not necessary. So, because this is something that we want to learn about, we're letting all sorts of ideas come to us. And then we'll deliberate a little bit and see if we can get to a direction. To direct the corporation, because this is a sort of area where the corporation is fully capable of resolving issues at this level on their own, but they look to us to understand what the community would like and to act as lightning rod for some of these problems. And we would like to bring our knowledge of the community to them so we can have a permitting process which is sufficiently flexible and yet recognizes the fact that we have limited spaces on the island, many of which are reserved for residents' use because they need temporary loading and unloading space and spaces at a premium.
I just finished my point?
Sure.
Now, Alfonso said he had no problem with the Hibachi Heaven guy coming here because he doesn't compete with Alfonso. But there's Fuji East, which has a Japanese restaurant. They may have a problem competing with a Hibachi Heaven. So do you guys want to be in the business of deciding, who comes here and who doesn't come here?
Building on that thought, Rick,
There's a grilled cheese guy. Now, Trellis has grilled cheese. Is he going to object to grilled? It just goes on and on and on.
It becomes, what has already happened it is becoming a semantics issue. Pizza truck has said, well, we don't serve the same, it's a whole different product. And it would be very difficult for me to be involved in the semantics of that. It will be time consuming, it will be argumentative, I'm sure, so if we can prevent that while figuring out some other sort of way to appease the business owners on the islands, which, getting back to my original thought, is if we open up the permits to, on more of a first come, first served basis, we're not going to have the repeats, we're not gonna have pizza here 5-7 days a week. So hopefully that would help with the business owners in that, alright, so there's a pizza guy here once or twice a week. Alright, it sucks, but it's not as bad as someone designated to this spot for an entire month. It would create the sort of whimsy that people like as far as, oh, what truck's gonna be here today? I think that would certainly help. And I don't foresee, again, you know, this is new for a lot of us, but should there become an issue where we have 20 trucks on the island at once, yes, we can put something in place to try to prevent that. Is it gonna happen? I don't think it's going to happen. It's in the city, you guys have sort of figured out a way to play nice, you know,
Well,
as
they've
you
opened up a
stated.
lot of lots, they've done a lot of things for the trucks in the city, you know?
Matt?
What I'm hearing is that what you're talking about is permitting for a fixed space, and only a fixed space, but it occurs to me that the kind of foot traffic we're talking about depends on the day of the week and the time of day. During the week, people coming home from work, it's the knitter hour that you're interested in, and the tram and the subway makes sense. On a beautiful July weekend, though, there are tons of people in Lighthouse Park and South Point Park, and maybe there should be some flexibility about where a truck can go, depending on the time of day and the day of the week, because that's where the business is.
A lot of guys don't operate their trucks on the weekends.
Oh, really?
Or they do private events, they go, you know, they go to concerts, they go to whatever. A lot of guys are not on the streets on the weekends, you know? At
Because
least a
we
lot
get
of-
a ton of visitors on the weekends here.
Sure, and that might be something you wanna be interested in, is doing a weekend type of permit where certain trucks come just on the weekends, you know? Which is definitely, I mean, I know the way the lots work, okay? You pay, by like the day that you're there,
How much?
okay? So it depends on how much, you know, one lot I believe is 75, another lot is
So
100.
this one's $10 a day, all right? I mean, the permit you guys were asking for was $10 a day.
Yeah, 11.
Roughly.
Yeah, but these guys aren't in the lot every day, that's the thing, they only go once a week,
Yeah, but
you
they're
know?
letting you stay here for $10 a day. I mean, that's
11.
11. That's
Yeah.
You know,
unbelievable.
this being the real estate group, it may be better to deal with food trucks by having some dual-use parking spaces and having a high parking fee for food trucks to use it. So it would be first come, first serve. Whoever comes to the designated spot can get it first. They buy a $30 permit for the day. Donna doesn't have to deal with it. She's a busy, hardworking lady. As much as she dealt with me dealing with getting a softball permit, I don't even want to think how much she has to deal with trucks and all the things that go in with that. But if you have certain spots that were open and available for people who are willing to come pay the daily permit, it would encourage a rotation of vendors. They could work among
That would-
themselves to come, and it would let them go to different locations. So for instance, when we do the movies,
That's
he
exactly
can
what
take
I'm
and have desserts down by the park
That
and
makes
not be
sense.
stuck in his only permitted spot. But it also prevents you guys from getting into a rather bad situation with some other leaseholders who, could decide that if you're making decisions to make permits to use the trucks or whatnot, that they might decide to sue the board.
Excuse me, Mark, that sounds like a good idea, but daily permit becomes an administrative nightmare even more so than what we have right now, because we would still require the insurance and the licenses from the city. So if you have people come on a daily basis, so now all of a sudden, something that we were trying to do on a monthly basis, you're doing it potentially almost every day of the week.
I definitely
And we
And we
understand
still
that
have to
doing.
require
It can be done.
proper
Yeah.
documentation.
Yeah, and maybe you could do a one-time validation,
Right.
and
You
that's
guys
the
care-
guy,
You're
and
gonna
then you
do,
don't
if
do
you're
the
gonna
daily.
do,
Sorry,
if you're
what?
gonna do
Do you
10
guys carry
spots,
insurance?
you know, 10 spots or whatever, 5 spots, 5
Who
days a
checks your
week.
insurance
Those
every day?
people have to register and then you
Yeah,
bill
When I
them.
pay my
Every
fax,
month,
put
they
my-
cut
all
you
my
a check.
information
Validation
to
is done
Donna.
then.
Wait, say, hang on a second. No, not here. When you're doing business in the city, who's checking your insurance every day?
Nobody's checking my insurance.
We don't have to check insurance every day.
Right.
No, I'm not saying we have to, if someone comes just for the day, a new. It
But
can
we
be-
don't know, in other
It can be
words.
Mark's truck one day.
Someone we don't know.
It can be my truck the next day, so that all of a sudden we're replicating that process of making sure of having the proper documentation
So-
for each vendor, and by doing daily permits, that can potentially happen almost every day of the week.
So,
Sure can.
so we actually have two.
With different vendors.
We have
That's
two,
my point.
we have two tiers of issue. One is, issuing any permit whatsoever, so they have to go through the application process,
Right.
everything's verified, that's done. Now we have the issue of, we only have so many spots, to what degree do we wanna control them? And maybe that could be done through the parking fee involved in having a spot. So suppose that we had a limited number of spots that don't otherwise intrude on the business of the island. For example, unfortunately, nothing here in the midsection.
Right.
Because of the issues that we have. So we have 3 spots permitted by subway, 1 spot or 2 spots permitted on the other side. 1, 2 spots by Octagon, 1, 2 spots by Tram, 1, 2 spots by Southtown. Maybe they'd be occupied, maybe not. If they're occupied, then a daily fee applies. If there's a way of collecting that fee, not requiring a special action on your part, your only action would be, have I issued a permit to this truck, are they entitled to be here? So public safety can see, does the truck display a Roosevelt Island
Sticker.
permit
Mhm.
in the window?
Mhm.
Yes, no. Is the truck pay in an appropriate spot? Yes, no. Did the truck pay for the appropriate spot? Yes, no.
Well, how would
It's-
they know?
Yeah, but how would they know that, who's gonna
Who's
collect the
gonna
money?
collect the money?
Well, do we have,
No, you wouldn't collect it daily, you would collect it once a month, like the food truck lots do. They send out a bill and
But
the
this
guys,
is,
they
this is
pay.
going back to David's point, I think, we're overcomplicating it. I think if we,
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
if we do something like what Donna said, a permit for the year,
The
if,
thing
you know,
is,
and then people, and we have designated spots, and then that's it, it's done once.
And that's it, like he
And
said,
then-
I might not wanna come here.
Yeah, and then it's up to
I
him.
might not wanna come here 5 days a week,
Right.
but I'm gonna come to the, and it's worth for me to pay that yearly fee, I'll take that. You know, whatever you're gonna make the fee, is gonna make the fee. He's like, yeah, you know, I only wanna come here 2 days a week.
Yeah.
You're not guaranteed a spot, that's all it is.
Because I think what's happening here, the burden is being placed on the corporation, well, specifically Donna, to be quite frankly. And it shouldn't be on the burden, on Donna or the corporation. I think, look, here's an opportunity, here's our fee, here's where you can park. The burden is on the mobile food vendor to decide whether he or she's gonna do it, and that's it.
Well,
I mean, I think we're overcomplicating it.
Could I say something?
Yeah.
Okay, you wanna do that? Like you said, the monthly fee?
No, it's.
No, I'm just saying, like Donna said or
The
whatever.
yearly fee.
Yearly.
Alright, the yearly fee, but don't limit us where we could park. I know you said there are certain spots where you can't park because, what did you say, your landlord has?
My landlord signed a lease for
Okay.
this whole strip where there's a lot of people staying, and I mean, you can't park in there, it's taking away, parking spots.
there's no
and
parking spaces anyway.
They're trying to get new businesses on the island, and that's not gonna help it out.
Okay,
That's
but if
why
he's
housing.
parked in a spot, okay, and there's supposed to be 3 trucks there, and I paid, what am I gonna do, go home because I didn't know that he was coming?
Yes.
Yeah, well,
Try again tomorrow.
Isn't that what happens in the city?
Yes, it is.
No, then you get to go to another spot.
Right, so you have 5 designated
Go around
spots.
the corner and find another, if you want a parking place, you can park it.
Now you gotta go back over the bridge, and back into the city.
That's business.
You have 5 beautiful boroughs in which if you
That's
are
business.
But let me ask you a
successful
question,
for the
wouldn't
day
it make
for-
more sense to pay $345 a month? So this way you don't, if you come here, you're guaranteed a spot.
He's
There's
not
only
gonna
so
make his
many
business like
spots
he said.
available, it comes out to $10 a day. You know, either it works or it doesn't work, if it doesn't work, we're, you know, okay, I'm sorry, no
Well, how
problem
many-
for you guys.
So how many permits are we gonna give out?
Well, that's what we said, we had like
No,
5,
because they were
7.
stuck with all the same food.
Yeah, well, you're stuck with the same food, okay, but,
There was
so
no
you're
point,
stuck
we don't-
with it, well, the point was you wanted some food trucks.
We
that was
wanted
the
the whole
point,
food
and we
truck
didn't-
experience, which is different guys,
You,
different days,
you want, you wanna
different-
know something, that I think
I
will
mean-
help you guys? I think you need to contact the Food Truck Association. I think you need to
Donna
speak
has,
to
she's
David
spoken
Weber.
to them, right?
You need to, because they're very good at organizing lots. They've organized a lot of these lots in the city. They know how to get this where the trucks, they're on a steady rotation. how to schedule your fees. That'll really help you get things down.
I've
You spoke to
I've
David?
spoken with David several times.
And did he help you in any way?
It's good for the lot aspect,
Right.
but when we're not talking lots, again, the lot thing is new today.
Right.
So this has been ongoing,
Right.
and the lot idea hasn't really been as focused on.
Right.
So
I'm
yes,
not saying
I've
putting a
spoken
lot on the island, but maybe you consider the island as almost like one big lot for the trucks. You're looking to limit the amount of trucks you're gonna have on the island, because you don't wanna have an overpopulation. If people start hearing that you're doing good, that guys are doing good on the island, believe me, they will come. They will start to come, and the next thing you know is you're gonna have 20 guys looking to come on one night, and you're gonna be like, what is this, you know?
what I think is
That's what we
important.
don't want.
Right.
Right,
So-
but I
so-
think
20 trucks.
So you organize it in a way where everybody knows, okay, this is my day, this is my day, this is my day, everybody pays their fees. I think you're gonna get more money out of it that way, as far as the fees are concerned. And if you just have 5 trucks that are paying $300 a month, or if you have 5 trucks that are paying you X amount of dollars to be there on that day, 5 days a week, you're gonna get more money out of it.
More money out of what?
More money out of the fees.
I mean, like a yearly fee?
I mean, the way I see that the lots do it, they do it on a weekly basis, and then they bill everybody at the end of that month. You owe X amount for the month of June, you owe X amount for the month of July, and
Yeah, but they don't have, I don't know how these lots work, but I guess it's a guy that has a vacant lot that's looking to make money before he decides to build something on it. Right? But we get a lot of money from our commercial tenants,
Okay.
a lot of money. And we're trying to get more money and build up the commercial. We have to look at a balance. We don't want to just have food trucks and and basically a lot of empty stores. We're trying, that's the whole purpose of what we've been trying to go through for the last couple of years. Is to, so that's why when we originally set this up, we said, okay, let's limit it to 5 trucks, 7 trucks,
that's what I'm
whatever
saying.
it was.
Limit it to
If
that
it
amount of trucks.
works, they'll pay what the existing people are paying, just, 'cause that seems fair. And, now,
But you don't have to insert the corporation in licensing this. You don't have to be getting insurance, you don't have to be getting a special permit made. This is a public safety thing that public safety could handle very easily. Do you have your citywide permit on the truck? Yes. Okay, have you gotten your parking slip that shows that you paid your $30 today? Yes. No problem. Don't have your parking ticket that shows that you've gotten your $30. Don't have your citywide permit plastered on the back of your
okay,
truck.
but how many
We run
trucks,
$1,000
how many trucks are gonna be on the island?
As many
As many can fit in the
So they could have 20 trucks, 30
No,
trucks?
you have 5 spaces
Some
and 3
find
spaces
reasons
for each
not.
truck. Find reasons too.
I-
You can set spaces.
We worked on this, and the thing is working, or it's trying to work, and we're trying to work out, a sensible solution. But you don't go from, in my opinion, you don't go from one extreme to the other, because we have some issues here. I mean, for daily parking, you want different variety, and, how many trucks would be limited to this daily parking?
I think we
You-
would
you-
have
you-
five.
You're talking about
So-
spots, not trucks.
You
So
limit
you
it by
have 3
spots.
spots.
Okay,
You could have
so-
10 trucks, but 3 spots, and the
Right.
10 trucks rotate depending
what I'm
upon the
saying.
day.
More
So-
money, if this gentleman is saying they're charging $75 a day
Okay,
to be
but-
in one
so
spot, and we're charging $345
They
for
come
the
here and
month.
those spots are taken,
They don't come, cause Tuesday's not their day, they get told
Exactly.
what day they
There's
can
a
come.
schedule, in other words,
There's a
there's a
schedule.
schedule,
Schedule,
truck
they
A
share
comes
On Monday,
Monday
and truck
and
B,
Thursday, truck
right, and
B
then you
goes
get
Turn it
lots
over to
of
the Food
money
Truck
out of it,
Association
because
to
they're
handle
not-
the details.
And this is gonna be
They will.
for the
Yeah.
day.
They're looking for lots, believe
For
me,
the
they're
day.
looking
Sure.
for safe
For the
havens
day.
for these trucks
For the
to
day.
come and earn
People-
So
money.
once
do
they
business,
get authorized, registered,
But
they
it
check
also
it
might
out,
not be
crap,
enough
fine.
money for these people.
They're gonna, listen, it's a learning process for all of us, you don't know, the trucks might be a big hit, they might be a flop, the guys will see, if they're making their money, they'll continue to come,
And it
they'll
only
continue to
costs
pay
you
their fees.
$350. That's
No,
what
it
it comes down to.
doesn't. That's
No,
what we're
here,
saying.
what you guys are offering, it's a business, and that's the cost of doing business.
No, it isn't, you're not
What do you-
listening.
I'm
We're
listening
saying
perfectly,
don't do that.
I'm just, it's
No,
gonna
we're
go back
saying
and
don't
forth.
do the $345, forget the $345 a month and charge them by the day. He's saying they can pay $75 a day for one truck to come in there and,
That's on a weekend, $30.
whatever. It's not $345 a month, it's way more than
Not
that,
11
so
a
these
day,
guys
30 or
are
40 bucks.
paying a lot more, and we get a lot more out of it. and they're paying more, closer to what, well, not what you guys are paying, but they're certainly paying more. We make money and they don't have to pay for a whole month, because it's kinda like time sharing.
No, it's,
But if I
one spot
decide to
and
come
say-
four times a week,
Then you pay your daily rate.
then I pay my daily rate, and I'm
We
just,
don't want you here 4 days a week, we want variety.
Wait a minute.
Maybe
Let
five.
the guy finish his thought.
okay, if I decide to come here and turn around and say, I'll pay you for the week up front, and somebody else says, I come in Monday morning, I paid you for today, and he's in the spot that I paid for, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
We'll give it to you
Well,
I
that's
think
gotta
that's
be-
gonna happen, but I wanna know
We'll
who's
have to
gonna
schedule.
control all this. This is, you can talk all you want, who's gonna organize and control all this? You're gonna spend more money on an
and
assistant,
it,
on 3 assistants that
the
deal with all
one
this
week
stuff.
is $150.
There's people in the association that'll direct
$30
trucks
a
on
day,
what days that will
5
come here.
days a week, I'd say.
For what
The
schedule.
ball's not done, I mean,
He's saying 75, he's wanting to 30. I
Well,
like the
it was-
75 a lot better,
Oh, okay, 75.
I'd like to
a day,
get this topic finished. I think we've explored it quite a bit.
I go anyway.
Part of it, part of the resolution will be depending on what Donna feels is possible. Right.
They like you.
As far as issuing daily, weekly, even the monthly has proven to be a little bit of a logistical nightmare. The longer term that I can grant a permit is a plus. As far as designated spaces, days of the week, I've thought about the days of the week thing. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and I'll do it if that's what we want to do. But I think the simpler the better. A fee with whatever the fee is determined to be for a year-long period. You have days where you come and there's nobody here. Okay, you can have days where you have certain designated spots and they're all filled up. Okay, we'll try again tomorrow. I just think it's the best way to do it. And it makes life simpler on the permitting end. It makes, nobody has to worry about keeping track of, oh, well, it's this day, it's this truck, and oh, this truck is wrong this day, and then public safety has to get involved. And if everybody's under the same impression that I know what I'm paying for up front, I'm paying for the possibility of having a spot on Roosevelt Island.
Nobody's gonna pay you for a possibility.
Nobody's gonna pay you
Yeah,
for
well,
that.
it takes a lot of time for somebody,
To get here.
like the example, you
Yeah.
cook your food up front, because you can't cook it there, you gotta serve it there, whatever it is, so you cook the food and you find out, I'm too late. Now you're scrambling, take an hour or two,
Get back into the city.
you lost your lunch.
There's no trucks that go in Brooklyn and Queens.
And how do
you
these
know,
guys that run the lots do it? They must have the same
I'm
administrative
gonna
issues.
speak,
Why
I'm
don't you
gonna
talk to
speak
the
to,
guy David
I'm
again?
gonna speak to David, just to
The-
find out how they do it.
The issue with that is if we arrange something with the Food Truck Association, is we're now we're now eliminating the opportunity for trucks that aren't necessarily affiliated with the Food Truck Association. And so that creates a little bit of, okay, well, we're gonna open it to some, but not to all. And that's just the.
Well, didn't you recommend that at one point? How big is the association? You guys,
40-something trucks.
only 47?
Right now.
Okay. Now,
It's a lot of trucks.
also,
It's a lot of variety, it's 47, right?
No,
There's-
they're not gonna all be here.
no, there's a 20-year waiting list to get it.
No, it's just
But
one
Donna had
system.
recommended and suggested something to me before. Why don't we just work through the food association, let them manage this whole process for us? We're not expert in this. We're trying to do something and learn about something that we're not really experts in. This is not what we do. So it's almost like revisiting the whole commercial lease. We're not property owners in terms of who we should go where. let's work with the Mobile Food Vending Association. Tell them, look, we have this opportunity, let's work with them and let them send the trucks, let them schedule the trucks to come out here in whatever times and so
They
on.
did that.
Which
And
is
charge
what they
them-
do it.
and
I
charge
know
them.
the
Yeah, let them
local
do it.
financial
And
center,
then-
they can tell
And let
them
the city
what
charge
to
them, or you guys
do.
can charge them?
They would still have.
Yeah, but they're
You
also,
wanna be the master
they're
liaison.
also gonna want something for doing it.
Pay for the master lease in the 3 spots.
Well, maybe,
And I'll
and
bid
maybe
for it.
next
They
year we
get
do
their
that.
money through
Well, but look, yes, they're gonna want something.
Need a truck.
They
Yeah.
get their
I'm
money
coming
through
to-
us.
I'm coming
I don't
to
think
all-
the
Get a
lots,
truck.
I don't think any of the lots charge the association, they just want a safe haven for the trucks, that's part of their, that's part of what we pay them
But-
for, I pay them on a monthly basis.
But we're trying to do something
don't have
again
lots.
that we're not experts in, and we're gonna
Right.
continue
You got one lot,
to
the whole
debate
island's
this
allowed
all
with
night
7
long.
spaces.
I think if we partner with the the Mobile Food Vending Association, and let them, it was actually Donna's idea. But,
Now you're telling us? We've been sitting here since 7 o'clock
let
and
them
now
do
she
it, let
gives
them,
us
let
this
them,
idea?
Alright.
let them assign the trucks, let them
Money,
schedule what
alright,
day it
truck.
is, and so on and so on. And maybe we enter into a permit fee with the association, and that's it. And the administration.
That's-
Yeah, it's no
and
$11
then-
a day.
and the
Oh, no, they're
association
gonna
will
get
be
hammered.
responsible for making sure
They're
they
gonna
have
charge
the
their money.
insurance,
Okay.
their
Like I said, they
licenses
pay
and so on.
$75 to
I
$100 a
don't
day to
think
be
these
in a
guys are
lot.
trying to get a bargain,
So
I think they
you were
just
getting
wanna
it
make
for
a living.
$11, now it's gonna
That's exactly what we're doing.
I'm,
Yeah.
What happens August, excuse me,
I
Alfonso,
was
what
just
happens
gonna say,
August
what happens
first?
August 1st to these guys? Between now and August 1st, we can figure
Can't
this
do
out.
it.
No chance.
Can't do
bad
it.
Why
chance.
not?
2015 maybe. August 1st.
Donna, can
I
you do it
will
between now and August 1st?
gladly,
We're the government, we don't
wholeheartedly
move
make it
fast.
my number one priority.
Okay,
Okay, I think we can do it.
That's what,
okay.
I mean, even
Well,
if
we
I have
have-
to pay you a fee for the month of August, you know.
But I just wanna, how does this work? I'm just a little-
We don't know yet.
You-
Sounds like the master lease. Only
Yeah.
it's-
Essentially it is.
I know, but
Yeah.
you pay $75 a day to go into a lot, right?
no, but we're not doing that here. Everything will be managed by the association.
Yeah,
And
but
we
this
will-
is through the association,
This goes
right?
through the association, yeah.
So you pay the association $75 a day for that lot, so they must rent that lot from somebody.
They deal directly with the landlord, so the association will deal directly with you.
So
There's the
the,
rent
so
lot,
they'll, so we will charge the association a fee,
Right.
and they would rent it out.
the association,
Okay.
yeah, the association knows what trucks went to what lot on what days, and they build it.
Excuse me, Nick, I gotta say this, you know, I really gotta say this, this is something that's bothering me.
Get a check.
The association, what they're gonna do is, there are 4 major trucks in the association. You give it to them, and that's the only trucks you're gonna see here.
That's not true, cause they've been rotating
Yeah,
a lot,
that's
they just
getting-
had a huge meeting on priority to trucks. And I understand.
That's
because,
your
you know what,
business.
That's
I'm
a
sitting
member-
here,
as a member of
I'm
the
sitting
association, you
here
guys need to work
thinking,
it out.
because I know that you're not a member, and I know that this is
That's
probably
their
something
business. They're
that's
gonna
going
fight about
to
all
affect
day.
you.
I'm
But
good.
I'm just thinking, because I know how most of these trucks are gonna think, okay? These guys are not gonna come here 5 days a week. They're not gonna wanna pay $300 and something a month to maybe have a spot, or even to just come here twice a week. They would rather know that this is my day, this is when I'm going to be there, and if they can't make it, they find somebody to substitute on that day. So if there's supposed to be 5 trucks on the island on that night, and there's only gonna be 4, they send out an email, they say, hey, listen, you know, Phil Stakes can't make it, who wants to fill in? That person fills in, and that person pays the fee for the night. I just did it. I'm not in any of the lots, but I got an email that lot space was available in the Lent space on Varick and Grand. I took it for the day, I did great, and at the end of the month, they're gonna send me an email that says I owe X amount of money, I'm gonna pay them. I had an amazing day.
And that's the association.
And that's the association, and
It's a
hopefully
no-brainer.
through
That's it.
that,
I mean,
I'll
people
get
are-
into more and more lots. I'm on a waiting list for 4 other lots right now, that I'd like to
These
get
guys
into.
get what they want.
Thank you, that's all I wanted to hear.
No, she can't leave.
I know,
Later
I see.
hours, more seats. the
Thank you,
whole
Don,
thing.
thank you.
Okay.
I gotta get
You
back
got
to
another
that
meeting?
truck.
So,
Yeah.
okay, well, thank you very much.
Ciao,
for
Peter.
your information.
So,
Check.
okay, wait.
Okay.
Thanks for coming, nice talking with you. Learned a lot, learned a lot.
Let's get an action plan, cause I think
Yeah,
that's.
let's get to an action plan.
Okay.
Okay, so
Sharpie's twin brother.
Donna, and Kathy, I'll ask if you agree. We feel that working through the association.
There's a nice welcome to Roosevelt.
Because of the issues.
I think they're one of the Twilight Zone, that's fine, don't we?
I personally feel that
Like,
the
You know.
threshold permits, basically, that you verify that they met our requirements.
That's what really is.
How you work that out through yourself, through the association, also makes sense.
Makes me nervous.
I like it.
That we know that they've met our requirements, and now the association deals with placement and scheduling, with the idea that we only have a limited number of spots in our island-wide lot. also makes sense. And
I just
you may well have a meeting next week anyway, so talk about that. Thanks very much.
Of course.
You know, my original idea was that I wanted to enable placement in the limited number of spots we have. So I thought the licensing for long-term at a reasonable fee made sense, not so much to hit each spot with the idea of people not being repeat customers, the same way we have fruit vendors in place, Mr. Softy typically in place. These people would not be here day after day after day necessarily. So working with the association, so if there is a variety and some level of control, not done by us, makes sense. So do you existing, the existing people,
I think they should go through the association as well.
Why if they're not?
They're not members of the association.
right, so we
This
have.
guy here was not, he's not a member of it. It's a 20-year waiting list, he said.
Is it really?
That's for a
Yes,
new.
yeah.
No, that's for a new
new
permit.
permits.
He doesn't
You
want to
can't
be
do it.
involved in that and what that other guy's doing, because he, like he said, he likes to go to the spot. I mean, it's $350, and they're like, I mean,
Well,
he's willing to
okay,
pay more,
I would
because-
I would entertain the idea of having really two tracks then. If he wants to pay
Yeah.
$350, just like the fruit vendor does, for a stated spot,
And the ice cream vendor.
and the ice cream vendor, a stated spot
okay,
available,
perfect.
that's
Yeah,
one
yeah,
thing.
good.
And if he wants to be a member of
I thought it was commenting on
this
it.
floating pool, if it changes, that's something else.
Are we
So-
leaving same number of spots?
Yeah,
Yeah, we have, how many we
otherwise,
have?
we're gonna start taking parking spaces away.
No, I
and
don't
that's
want,
gonna
I
be-
certainly don't
it's
want
gonna
to
get
get
more
parking
problems.
spaces.
If
So
somebody
it's
wants
2, 3,
to do
6.
the monthly thing, so that will reduce
Right, the pool available.
for the association,
For
but
the
they
association.
probably want it up front. They're probably gonna want, they're not gonna say, hey, this month you only get 3 spots.
Don't guess.
What if you sell the
Don't guess. We'll
association a
find an
certain
answer.
number of spots?
I'm not guessing, I'm just saying this is something as a
That they're gonna talk
possibility.
about.
Anyway.
Well, if the
Guess.
association
Okay, I'm
knows
guessing.
that there's,
They have 2 spots a night.
right, if 2
I
spots.
mean, we can figure it out, we're not gonna figure it out
Yeah.
tonight, we can figure it out.
Look it up.
So, I'd like to move on to our second agenda item, finally.